Welcome back, all you glorious PC World fans, for this week's roundup of the biggest and most intriguing news to hit the PC community. We've got a good bit to cover this go around, starting off with Microsoft finally giving us an official release date for Windows 11. Next, NVIDIA releases a very important update for its broadcast software that should make running it a little less stressful on your system. Then, EVGA finally gives us hard data on what went wrong with Amazon's New World beta bricking graphics cards. And finally, the newest Steam hardware survey gives us a glimpse of what the modern GPU market share is looking like. An action-packed week for sure, so let's jump right in. Windows 11 has seemed to make its way into almost every weekly roundup for one reason or another. But up until now, we haven't known when to expect the operating system. Well, that all changed this week. Personally, I was guessing we'd see it on November 11th. 11/11 release for Windows 11 seemed pretty on the nose and haha kind of thing. But they didn't pan out with that one. Luckily, you don't have to wait that long. In fact, from the time this video goes up, it will be roughly 1 month. Those eager to get their systems updated to the official build of Windows 11 will be able to do so on October 5th. Of course, if you're impatient, you can go ahead and try the early release builds. But that's not my speed, so you do you. And for all of the Windows 11 coverage, be sure to keep a tab open on PCWorld.com. We've got a lot of awesome articles to dig through. The broadcast software package has been a big selling point for NVIDIA since its launch last September. And despite its overwhelmingly positive response, it hasn't been without criticism. This past week, we saw the release of version 1.3, which addresses a couple of those issues. The main issue being with background noise removal. What would happen is that it would cut out voices if someone got a little bit too excited and yelled. I personally know a few folks that have had this one cause them a little bit of ire, although I personally didn't mind their yelling getting muted while gaming. The other issue, which is a bigger one from my standpoint, is the reduction of resource requirements. Using more than one of the broadcast features at the same time would really hit your GPU hard. With version 1.3 update, NVIDIA is reporting around a 40% reduction in VRAM usage, which should translate to better gaming performance while using broadcast. Now remember when Amazon's The New World beta was killing graphics cards? Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but it seemed to be a very heavily focused on hitting EVGA's GeForce RTX 3090 for the win cards. And there was a lot of speculation thrown around as what could have caused or couldn't have been the cause of the issue. Now, our very own Gordon Maung stayed persistent in getting answers from EVGA, and that's just what he got. In terms of the affected units, EVGA claimed that the total body count was above 24 GeForce RTX 3090 cards that were to be believed to have failed from playing the New World beta, all of which were early production run cards built in 2020. But what caused it? As Gordon wrote, under an X-ray analysis, they appear to have poor workmanship on soldering around the card's MOSFET circuits that powered the impacted cards. Now, while EVGA declined to give Gordon a total number of RTX 3090s they've sold, they did let him know that the affected cards were effectively less than 1% of their total. All cards that were effective have been replaced immediately. The last topic concerns a wider graphics card market, and Jared Walton from Tom's Hardware has reported on the latest Steam hardware survey, showcasing dedicated graphics card market share according to Steam. Now, admittedly, Steam's hardware survey is not an exact science or an end-all to the discussion, but it is a very interesting metric to watch as it gives us an idea of market trends. And to be quite honest, outside of John Petty Research's quarterly releases, it's the best metric that we have to go on, so it deserves some attention. The interesting number to look at here is the current generation of graphics card market share from both AMD and Nvidia. Now, according to the report, the current GeForce RTX 30 series is enjoying a pretty substantial 7.75% of the market, while the Radeon RX 6000 series is only at 0.43%. The GTX series of cards still make up the largest segment of the whole with 44% of the market. It seems the RTX lineup, that being the 20 and 30 series, is now up to right at 24% of the market. And I can almost guarantee that Nvidia will use that number to court out more developers to use DLSS. And with that, we bring this week's roundup to a close and wrap it all up in a nice little bow. We've got Windows 11 officially launching on October 5th, so you won't be waiting long now for a fresh operating system experience. NVIDIA Broadcast users, both old and new alike, now have a great update to smooth out issues and increase performance. We finally get some hard answers on the issues that plagued EVGA and their RTX 3090s with Amazon's The New World beta, and Steam Hardware Survey shows us a glimpse of how the distribution of modern graphics cards is going. Well, thanks for joining me this week, and if you found these topics informative, let me know by hitting that like button, and make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss future PC hardware and software goodness.